Hello and welcome back to Full Count. It's been a long time, and I'm just solo today. I don't know if Grant's going to be coming back for future episodes or if I'm going to find somebody else to replace it, but for a little while I will be solo. And I think it's the perfect time to come back because the playoffs are about to start. And yeah, I'm going to give you my predictions and everything that I think about what happened at the end of the season here. I really didn't do an episode in all of September, so I might recap a bit of that. But yeah, welcome back and thank you for watching. Let's get into it. So, end of the season was crazy. The wild card race came down to the last game for everybody on both sides. So the NL, the Reds snuck in out of nowhere just because the Mets sold and got swept by the Miami Marlins. So that was crazy, and it was awesome for me because I hate the Mets, and so I was really happy to see that. And then in September, the Cleveland Guardians, the inevitable Cleveland Guardians, started winning, and they won like crazy, and they took that division. There was, I believe, more than 10-game lead at one point from Detroit. They lost a ton in September. Cleveland won a ton in September. Detroit still snuck in the playoffs over the Astros, but they had a brutal month of September. So that's a crazy dynamic, and those two teams are facing off against each other in the AL wildcard. So, I mean, leading with that, let's just go into the entire AL. I'll do the AL side predictions, then the NL, and then I'll talk World Series. AL Division Series, you're going to have the Red Sox, Yankees, and you're going to have Detroit Tigers versus Cleveland Guardians, like I just mentioned. So I'm going to start with the Guardians series. It's one of those tricky ones where I don't think either team is that good. But we all know the Tigers have a horse starting in game one in Tarek Skubal. He's a horse, though, that I think the Guardians are going to beat. I think the Guardians are going to win game one. It's something about this team. They got magic. Like, they don't have any stars. You could say they have three. Well, they do have a star, J Ram, obviously. But they have three, like, really good hitters, and that's about it. I mean, in J Ram, Stephen Kwan, and Kyle Manzardo, you could include in there. He's nothing amazing, but he's definitely a good and capable hitter. So I'll include Kyle Manzardo in there. But really, Cleveland's not too deep at all. But they do have magic. That just seems to be Cleveland. They do more with less. It's one of those teams. It's like the Brewers. It's like the Rays. They just do more with less. So I do like Cleveland in this first series, the three-game series against Detroit. And I think they take game one against Tarek Skubal. So yeah, I'm gonna go Cleveland in that series. So then they'll move on to do the next round, whatever. Anyway, so and then you got Red Sox Yankees, who it's gonna be a crazy series, and it's another one where I think that the Yankees lost in the regular season to the Red Sox. It seemed like they got owned by them. And you got Aaron Judge, who always tends to struggle in the playoffs. At least last year was brutal. So they got things going against them. But as you'll see as a theme in this, I think the Yankees have some magic this year. I really do. And I like Max Fried going in their game one. Look, I know they're facing Garrett Crochet, but I don't think the Yankees care. I think they're going to rake them. And by rake them, I really mean like 3 runs, but I don't think Max Fried's going to give up more than three. So I do think it's going to come down to the bullpens, be like a one score game in that first one. And I think the Yankees are going to pull away. I think they're going to win in 3 games, though. I do think the Red Sox will get one. And maybe it's that first one, I don't know, but I like Max Fried's chances. I mean, the dude, he's 19-5 when he takes the hill. They're a good ball team when Max Fried's on the mound. So I like the Yankees to win the series against the Red Sox. I think they might do it in 2 games. They might just win the first two. They're one of those teams where they're going to be so hit or miss. They're either going to be raking homers. They live off homer. They live and die off homers, which probably isn't successful in the playoffs. But it's one of those things where I think, I mean, like last year they made it all the way to the end against the Dodgers. Couldn't get it done. We know that. I think this year they will get it done, but we'll get into that. So Max Fried and Carlos Rodon being your 1-2. Even Schlittler could go in that game three. He's been fun. He's a solid guy. And if he struggles, they got not all the depth, but they have enough depth to where if he's not looking good after 2 innings, swap him out. They're gonna be just fine. The bats are so good. This lineup's incredible. I just want to touch on it a little bit. You have my MVP and Aaron Judge. You have Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham, fantastic year, 34 homers. I mean, where did that come from? Jazz Chisholm, 31 homers as well. And Ben Rice had a great year, 250, 26 homers. And then like guys like Ryan McMahon, look, he not a great year offensively. Still has 20 homers, and maybe you could say that's Yankee Stadium. But the guy plays great defense, and that's all he's really there to do because they have horses at the top of that lineup. Even Paul Goldschmidt, Jason Dominguez hasn't been great. But the big X factor here is Giancarlo Stanton. Made for the playoffs. The guy's just a monster. He didn't really play the whole year, but 24 homers still. And you know he's going to show up and hit a big time shot. So I do like the Yankees here in the playoffs. And yeah, I think they're moving on in that first round. And then, so after that first round, as I have the Yankees and Guardians, I'll talk about Guardians Mariners, which I think is an easy series for the Mariners. Um, I do like. I just love everything about their team. Their lineup is way deeper than anybody gives them credit for. And their pitching staff is still arguably probably the best in baseball, unless you want to talk about the Phillies. That's fine. I'll accept that argument. But Seattle's right there with them. And you could argue that it's just Seattle's ballpark, but whatever. These guys are dudes. I like Seattle to win that in 4 games over the Guardians. I think pretty easily. They're just the better team by a long shot. I really like Seattle. Love what they're doing. Love Cal Raleigh. He's not my MVP though. Seattle moves on to the ALDS. Then Blue Jays Yankees. They just battled for that division title. Blue Jays went away with it, and that's why they get the bye. They will be playing each other though, and I really like the Yankees in this matchup. Uh, when you look at the Mariners, I don't think, or not the Mariners, sorry. When you look at the Blue Jays, I just don't love the pitching. Obviously, with these injuries, I believe Bo Bichette will be back. I think he was only on the 10-day. But Chris Bassett's out. Jose Barrios is out. They may be back. I don't know the full reports by the time that series would start. But even them coming back from this injury kind of worries me. They do have somebody like Eric Lauer they could throw. I would assume that they're going to go and throw Kevin Gossman game one. I love Kevin Gossman, but if it's Max Fried versus Kevin Gossman, I'm going Max Fried every time. So I think the Yankees will get game one, and I do think they'll get game two because it's going to be Carlos Rodon versus whoever. I don't know who they're going to throw game two. Like I mentioned earlier, they got a lot of injuries, and you maybe throw Eric Lauer in the game two, or God, I don't even know. I don't know who they'd think, but look, I think the Blue Jays have the scariest 1-2-3 in the league, and yes, I'm taking them over the Mariners, over the Dodgers, over the Cubs, over whoever in terms of 1-2-3. But after that, I don't love it. They have a lot of contact guys, which I support, like Alejandro Kirk, for example. Ernie Clements put together a great year. Look, nothing to shy about these Blue Jays. They haven't been in the postseason much, though. They don't have the experience. They don't have the healthy pitching right now that you need. So I have the Yankees winning that one pretty handily, maybe 4 games as well, maybe even 3. They might just sweep them. So yeah, Yankees move on and they take on the Mariners in the ALDS. And this is big primetime television. The 2 guys battling for MVP. Aaron Judge versus Cal Raleigh in the Seattle Mariners in the ALDS. That is exciting for everybody involved. And I do think that'd be such a fun series. I'm going to say it goes to 7. And I'm going to say in game 7, the man who never shows up in the playoffs is going to hit a walk-off or just get an important hit. Aaron Judge is going to send the Yankees to the World Series again. and they're going to try to make up what they couldn't do last year. So that's my AL side. Those are the predictions. Let's tap into the NL now. Reds Dodgers is that wild card matchup. I love the Reds in this one. You guys, I'm taking a lot of underdogs according to Vegas, but these are the favored seeds, but not the Reds. They're not the favored seed. They're not the higher seed. They barely snuck in. We know this. But they got Hunter Green throwing game one, and I just love it. They're going to be facing Yamamoto, who I can't even say that, so I'm not going to say that. But anyways, Hunter Green game one. The guy's coming off two really good outings. Against my Cubs, he went 9 innings, 0 runs, 1 hit, 9 Ks. The dude is looking nice, and then he went and faced Pittsburgh, went 6 innings, 7 Ks, 2 runs. I think he's going to show up for the big moment. I think Hunter Green, he was a top prospect. He was on the cover of my magazines as a kid. Hunter Green was always made for the moment. He's gotten the spotlight forever, so I don't think he'll fail in the spotlight when he's in the playoffs. So the Reds, I think they're exciting. I think they're going to upset the Dodgers in 3 games. And they're definitely they're going to need to take game one, and they will take game one with Hunter Green on the mound. Reds get it done here in 3 games. And yeah. Then we got to talk Cubs Padres. The Cubs lose Cade Horton, number 1 pitcher. If it was up to me, he was going to be the game 1 starter. Who knows if he would have been or not, but definitely the best pitcher on the Cubs. The stat you could discuss is the fact that the Cubs have had no starting pitcher with an ERA below 4 in the second half of the year other than Cade Horton. So obviously that shows why that is such a big loss. Cade Horton was going to be the game 1, so it's rough. But now you're going to go with Matthew Boyd here, and he's going to be facing off against Nick Pivetta. Nick Pivetta is a stud. Don't get me wrong. He's incredible. 13-5 on the year, 2.8 ERA. He's got everything you want, everything you could talk about in a pitcher. His only problem is that he's a righty. Cubs facing righties, it's game over. Cubs take game 1 against Nick Pivetta, easy. Dylan Cease is going game 2, probably Shota for the Cubs. What I do think they might do is throw Michael Soroka there for an open. He might do like an inning, and then let Shota get the bulk. We'll wait and see what they do. I don't want to see an opener in a playoff game, but I think that's definitely a possibility. But anyway, so Nick Pivetta's throwing righty. Cubs are going to rake him. If you think about the Cubs lineup, a lot of lefties are the big bats. Ian Happ's always better from the left side. Switch hitter, though, doesn't matter. But you go Tuck, PCA. Those are 2, like the big lefty bats, really important here. Michael Busch, obviously, has had a fantastic year. The Cubs like facing right-handed pitching. That's all I'm saying. So I do like him in game 1. I like him in game 2 over Dylan Cease. This might be a 2-0 sweep here. And yeah, simply put, Cubs move on from the Padres series. And they go to take on the Brewers for a 5-game set. Cubs are definitely going to get this one done. I think they're going to lose game 1, though. Freddie Peralta has our number. If it was at Wrigley, Freddie Peralta seems to walk people at Wrigley. Just like he can't handle it. But in Milwaukee, I think he's got the crowd behind him. He's going to shove. That's what he does. To me, he's the best pitcher in the in the NL, other than Paul Skeens. I think he's the second best. People want to argue Christopher Sanchez. I think he's a bum. But point is, Freddie Peralta's going to go in and shove. We're going to lose game 1. Unless Cade Horton's back, I don't know what that's going to look like. But anyways, Cubs are going to get out of this series with a W. Don't have much explanation behind it. It's not biased, though. Trust me. They're just the better team. We own the Brewers. The Brewers choke in the playoffs. It goes both ways. We won the season series. Cubs are going to win it in 5 games. It's going to come down right to the end. And the Brewers will sell it like they always do. It may come down to McGill. And I think he is going to sell it. It's just going to happen. It's going to be like Devin Williams or something like last year. Brewers will find a way to sell. Brewers will be Brewers. And the Cubs will move on and go to the NLDS for the first time in a long time. And then Yeah, so the Reds will take on. The Reds are going to get smoked. Let's just put it this way. They're going to have that lucky 3 game set against the Dodgers, and they're going to kind of get it done. But then they're going to run into the Phillies, and nobody wants to run into the Phillies. That pitching rotation is nuts. The batting order is nuts, although I do think it's overrated. It's good. You can't deny it. Schwarber's going to hit clutch homers. Harp's going to show up. Trey Turner just got healthy. They're going to be just fine. The Phillies move on, and I think they sweep them in 3 games, and they go to take on the Cubs in the NLDS. This is a series that I think goes to 7. Phillies Cubs. Um, it's going to be tough for us to hit those lefty pitchers for them. But I do think the Cubs just have some magic this year. I do think this is where the magic stops, though. The Phillies are going to go to the World Series. Um, just my prediction. I don't have much rationale behind it other than the fact that their horses are lefties, and we don't hit lefties well. So Phillies move on, and that is that. And Kyle Schwarber is going to get some payback on the Cubs for not signing him. Whatever. It's gonna kill all of our hearts. But Kyle Schwarber's gonna hit a big homer. That's my prediction. But yeah, we got big primetime World Series here with Phillies Yankees. Should be heavily viewed if this happens. How I think it's gonna happen. Phillies Yankees World Series would feed families. I think it'd be really entertaining. Aaron Judge is going to show up, and the Yankees are going to win the World Series. I am not a big Yankee fan. Let's make this clear. This is not me like just being, oh, the Yankees are awesome. They just have some magic this year. I don't know how to explain it. It really is no way to explain it. They're going to get hot at the right time. They're going to hit homers when they need to. They just have that sort of magic about them. They're going to win it all this season. 2025 Yankees are your World Series champs. And yeah, that does it for my predictions. I could go through some awards, but I'm not going to do that. There is a new video coming that I'm going to create, kind of just showing all of the terrible takes that we had, but also the good ones. See what we did predict well and what we predicted terribly. For example, we thought Kyle Stowers was terrible and pretty much had zero value on a baseball diamond. So, yeah, that should be an interesting video, and I think it'll be entertaining. And that should come out next week sometime, or maybe after the season. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, those are my predictions. Yankees are your 2025 World Series champions. They get it done. And yeah, that is all I got. Thank you for tuning in. And we will see you next time on Full Count. Maybe I'll have a partner then. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But thank you for watching. We'll see you.